Welcome everybody to my first YouTube video. Today, I'm going to be building a workbench. This workbench is symbology. What does that mean? No one knows. But similar to Minecraft and Paleo where you build the workbench, we're going to be using that as our base for all future projects. I have a lot of them. I'm going to be showing them to you. A little disclaimer, I have no idea what I'm doing. So to get things started with most projects, you got to start with a trip to the Home Depot. Unless you want to keep recording.
No, I didn't press record. I thought you had it on record.
Already, we've hit a snag. The circular saw that I have is not deep enough to cut the 4x4 legs, which makes me very worried, right? Because the number one requirement we had was to make sure it's stable. So if the flat surface that's touching the ground or that's gonna stabilize the tabletop is off, how's it gonna be stable, right? And I have to do that times 4 or times 8 when you think about it, touching the floor and touching the table. So I'm a little bit iffy about that, so I had to do some research. Saw some tips and tricks on how to best do it. I didn't like any of them that gave me the confidence to be like, hey, this is gonna work great. So now I have to decide, am I willing to deal with a potentially wobbly bench or if I can fix it? Also, I looked up some tips because just basic cuts I've ever done in my life. I've never really done anything more. I saw a cool little video and I was like, hey, 3 tips everyone should know. And I was like, okay, cool. Definitely gonna do some sanding. Or potentially, I don't know. But see, this is all part of the process, right? We just learn as we go. It is really cold in here. Also, I don't have anywhere to put the wood. So I had to rig up something with some boxes and we'll see how well that works. So step 1 was to cut these at 35.5 inches. So let's go ahead and see what that's gonna look like. 35.5 is here. I'm gonna take the square just because I don't know what I'm doing. I wanna make sure I give myself the best chance possible. Success. We're gonna measure twice, right? And cut once. And come over here so you can see it a little better. According to this guy, I don't want to mess up. As I'm editing this video, I'm watching how slow I am and careful. Over the days that went by, I got faster and was less cautious as I was at the start. It's almost painful to watch. Remember, safety was one of our requirements. I did learn a lot. Through all the issues and problems I was having, I learned a lot. I think the weight is pressing down and pinching the blade. Or not. Maybe it's not tight enough. We're gonna remove this, see what's going on. Good. How did that happen? So now, instead of my concern of cutting it and having it not flush, I gotta pull it off. I went left to right. And it'll pinch this from spinning. And you can't do the righty-tighty. It's the lefty-tighty this time. Wasn't it catchy? I don't know if it's because my hands are so cold. Okay, we got it tight. Oh my goodness. We're like 10 minutes in and already hitting tons of snags. This is where experience is always helpful, right? But it's okay, it doesn't mean it can't get done. So the more you know. So that's why we do more things. The more things we do, the more stuff we have in our toolkit. Oh my gosh. My knees are too bony. All right, here we go. This is actually good. I want to capture these kinds of things because whenever you get stressed about something like this, really look at it and says, okay, it's your first time doing it. You're gonna have these issues. Don't worry about it. I want to karate chop it and break it. You son of a bitch. Safety goggles for the next one. Yeah, it is not flush. Now the manufacturer side, let's see if that wobbles. It still does. So, can't tell until it's completely done, but maybe it won't be that bad. Let me try this again. This time I'm gonna actually leave it on the cardboard. Since it's not cutting all the way through, I don't have to worry about that. And hopefully that extra support will keep it from bending and pinching on itself. But I don't know. I'm learning. Definitely when I do my shelves, and I'm going to be doing shelves on the garage walls and ceiling. I'm going to do shelves in the basement. Everything I'm learning now, I'm going to apply to those. I had these on for the last leg I did, but clearly took them off. I forgot all about it. Felt really good. And it feels good too. It looks still lopsided, but it's not like that. See, it looks. I'm not selling them. It's just for me, so it's okay. Not gonna lie, I'm a little bit annoyed, a little bit discouraged. But just a little bit. The more I look at it too, it seems like the boards are warped. You see that? So that's definitely not going to help. Something else I always say is having the right tool for the right job. If we had a table saw, no problem. If we had a chop saw, no problem. But I'm trying to make things work with just the tools that I have. So I could have been more patient. I could have called a friend up, went to his house, chopped it up, brought it back. No big deal. But I want to get things done. Took the battery out to where only 1.5 inches is going to be exposed, and cut the notches off. You would want a table saw to cut into it, make it easier. We're using only one tool. You guys are probably all wondering, why not just hire a professional? Why don't I hire a professional? Just kidding. Life is to be absorbed. What I'm gonna do, since we're cutting notches, I'm looking for the areas that were cut down, and then I'm going to use that to chop the notch. Kind of correct what I've wronged. We're going to go down 3.5. From here, we want to go down 20.5 inches to 24. 20.5 to 24. I'm going to do this one with you, and then I'm going to turn the camera off. And then to test, we gotta get one of the 2x4s and see if they fit flush in one of these things. Man, if I had a workbench, this would be a lot more comfortable. A lot of these are really thick. I should probably go over it again, but let's just see what it's. Now I see what they say. Ah, crap. Yeah. So, let me show you guys what I'm all crapping about. These bigger chunks up here. We'll see how easy they come off. That wasn't too bad. My first one. Definitely not pretty. I was using a hammer to chisel and it went too deep. So I'm definitely gonna try a different approach for the next ones. And I'm gonna manually do the other ones. Definitely faster, very time consuming. Table saw would have been nice. This sucks. As we repeatedly do things, we should find different ways to do something. We should never do the same thing twice unless the first time it was really good. And I knew something was not the best when I started, so I eventually found my rhythm. So what I do is, I'll cut the line. Once I do that, I just go ahead and I cut. And if I think it's too thick, I'll just eyeball it. Because before I was taking too much time trying to keep it evenly spaced. And I also found a way to clean it up after I cut, so I'll show you that too. Now when you get to the end, I like to cut just before it. This is so time consuming. Battery, or it's overheating. Let's get a new battery. Oh my gosh, that's so much better. Okay, like before, just kind of pop them out. Okay, you see all these chunks here? So it's going like this, and it's taking them off really nice. But when you get to here, there's nothing. I saved a couple pieces from my earlier cuts. I think it might be good to wear a mask too. I'm breathing in a lot of sawdust. So I cut, these ones I cut too thick. Because of that, they're very nice to get a lot of this stuff off. For leverage. And then you get over there, just grab more. Put it there. If you're doing things multiple times a day and you're not improving that process, you're doing yourself a disservice. If any of you know of a better way to do this, comment below so that anyone that's watching this can learn from you too. Just drilling it into the wood. I don't know. And wear a mask. most tedious part was now done. So now I'm going to take a break, and tomorrow we'll do the rest, which shouldn't be too bad. Oh, but was it bad? I'm still coughing, but there's a lot of people that are sick and coughing, so I don't know if it's that or if it's something in my lungs from all that sawdust. Man. Initially, I was thinking of just chopping a couple times and it'd be not that much sawdust, but it ended up being so much because of how many cuts you had to make with that circular saw. It was crazy. So some of the things that I learned along the way, so if you're going to try this, definitely be aware of this, okay? And you'll get to see more in the other parts to this video when I complete the project. But going to Home Depot and buying the lumber, it was so hard to find good quality lumber. A lot of it was chipped, broken, rotted, warped. I did not expect it to be that bad. Me and my wife had to move so many different things to try to find the good pieces. The names of the screws on the YouTube video that I pulled all the information from, and the names of the screws at the store were not the same. So that was another issue. And probably if you're in this industry, it's like, well, that's what we call it. But someone like me, I'm like, eh. The circular saw blade was not tight, as you saw in the beginning, kind of spun on its own wheel. That could have been very dangerous. Not having the proper workspace, having to kneel, that was exhausting too. And because of my runny nose and going like that throughout, I tried to edit as many of them as I could, but doing that with the sawdust in the air really sent it back there. Forgetting my safety glasses throughout the entire time. Wearing gloves was a big deal because I had so many cuts and splinters on my hand by the end of that. There's a lot of times that I was getting discouraged, and you can see in the way I carry myself and in my voice that I was getting discouraged. And as I started cutting the legs and I could see that they weren't flush and I was worried about it being flimsy, I'm like, I didn't want to invest so much time into something if it wasn't going to work out. And if a workbench is wobbly, I should have wore my tool belt, but it's somewhere in a box somewhere because we just moved. I wasted a lot of time walking around. Where did I put the pencil? Where did I put the square? Where did I put the tape measure? Definitely wear a mask. Don't even risk it, in my opinion. I still am not doing well, and it's been a couple weeks. In hindsight, I know there's more to come, so I don't want to spoil it, but I'm very happy with my result, and I am happy that I push past the points where I wanted to just give up and smash everything. If you did enjoy what you saw, hit the subscribe button, like the video, let me know in the comments below what you would like to see in the future. I already have several plans. I do want to make this engaging, so please reach out, please comment, and I hope everyone's having a good day. Talk later.